Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode number 47 in the series in the book of Romans. Thank you for being with me and the podcast Be With Me. We've been looking at a doctrine of election, and today I'm going to title this Power in Patience. That is, that God is demonstrating a power that he has in his patience with us vessels of wrath. We've been looking at the posture of election. That is, what is the posture of a man encountering the election of God? And yesterday we talked about who am I and who are you in relationship to election? And we're asking a question as if we're made of clay. So we just kind of humbled ourselves and put some dirt on our foreheads. We're answering the question that is posited in sort of a snarky way. We've changed the tone of the question from Romans chapter 9, verse 20. So there's a little bit of a rebuke here. But who are you, O man, to answer back to God? Will what is molded say to its molder, why have you made me like this? And so rather asking that question as an accusation against God, we're asking the question humbly, why have you made me like this? We're asking it like it's a real question. And then we're going to give a nod in verse 22 that, or verse 21, has the potter no right over the clay to make out of the same lump one vessel for honorable use and another for dishonorable use? That is, God is the potter, we are the clay, and doesn't God have the jurisdiction to be sovereign with various lumps of clay in various ways? All along, we're not going to accuse God of being the author of sin. So listen in here as we read the next two verses, verse 22 and 23 in the book of Romans chapter 9. But if God, let me start over. What if God, desiring to show his wrath and to make known his power, has endured with much patience vessels of wrath prepared for destruction, in order to make known the riches of his glory for vessels of mercy, which he has prepared beforehand for glory, even us to whom he has called? Let me read it again. What if God, desiring to show his wrath and to make known his power, has endured with much patience vessels of wrath prepared for destruction, in order to make known the riches of his glory for vessels of mercy, which he has prepared beforehand for glory? Okay, so let's stop and just back up for a second. God is not the author of sin, and he's not accountable for sin. Sinners are accountable for that. And in the meantime, God is demonstrating his divine patience by enduring those of us who are vessels of wrath, prepared for destruction, but not yet having enacted that. And then the great miracle here is that God, who makes himself accountable for some of the sins, at least, of those who are children of the promise, to those who are children of Abraham, that is, those who are children of faith. He makes himself the wrath bearer for some. So there are vessels of wrath who are bearing their own wrath. And in the sense, they're made for it. They're containers of wrath, ready for wrath. They have the dishonorable use because they're all full of wrath, ready to be punished for the wrath. But there are also vessels of mercy who are not bearing their own wrath. That's the miracle in this whole thing. And they're being used for honorable use at this time. The reason is God is bearing their wrath. Okay, so why are we looking at this? We have certain people who are demonstrating the power of God. And it's as if God is saying, hey, watch me bear the wrath of a faithful group of people. Watch me save some. And In the meantime, watch me bear with the vessels that are rebelling against me. Watch me be patient with those who have stuck their thumb in my eye, if you will, even though I've made it clear in creation, clear with their conscience, clear with the law, those group of people who kind of want me dead. He's saying, watch me bear with sinners. Watch me bear with everybody, because 100% of us are accountable. So remember, 100% of people are heading towards wrath, and God is demonstrating their patience. No kidding. We broke 100% of the covenants with God. There's a war raging within us, where we kind of conclude like at the end of chapter 7 in the book of Romans, wretched man that I am. We weren't forced to sin. And we're saying, who is going to deliver us from this body of death? So we find this God who's saying, hey, watch me wait with patience. Watch me wait and bear with sinners. Watch me wait with everybody that is justifiably sort of on the target for getting the wrath of God. Remember, sin deserves a just response. It deserves punishment. When? Now. And it basically said that God desires to show his wrath, but he's also showing his patience in the waiting. He's showing his glory in the waiting. And it's something else that I'm giving and revealing to humankind. That is power and glory in the patience. That's my title for today, power in the patience. So how much patience has God required? And it says much patience. Much patience is being required with this. With who? With the people that are 100% accountable and 100% full of wrath. We are containers that are just full of it, ready for destruction, ready for wrath, and yet God has patience. And God is saying, watch me patiently bear with 100% accountable humanity. Why? Why be patient? Well, it's a way that he makes himself known. It's a new way of looking at God, and this glorifies him. Remember what glory is. Glory is the display of God's character and characteristics, and he is glorified by the patient. And who gets to see it? Vessels of mercy, mercy containers who see something new in God, his patience with sinners. So the call is to the vessels of mercy, hey, get busy, get bold, get evangelizing. Don't abuse and don't presume on the patience of God. Do your job. Fix your tongue. Control your appetites. Serve the church. Give generously. Do all those things. Worship. You're a vessel of mercy, not entitlement. Glorify God and give the right response. And if you're a dishonorable piece of clay, a vessel of wrath, well, stop doing that. Stop being a knucklehead. Yield and turn and receive the mercy of God. You'll still be a piece of clay, but you'll be a clay full of the patience of God and the mercy of God. Thanks for listening.